Hello, everybody. Give it a few seconds. See if we can get some people in here. Through the ads. And then we're going to get going. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Gardener Eden, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I definitely appreciate you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Just letting a few people get through the ads and come on in. Suzette, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. We got a pretty interesting topic this week. Not going to be on here long. Just trying to set up just a few things. And then we're going to get going. Letting them come on in, come through the ads. Once they get through the ads, we're going to get going. Miss Farola, hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend this weekend. Guys, the month of August is going so fast. I could barely keep up. This has been an interesting year. And it's almost over. we like really down the road of 2020, and I'm ready for it to get out because it's been a lot going on. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. If you have the ability to share me out, please do, so we can get a few more people up in here. Today we are talking about perennials. Perennials is very important, especially if you are doing a food forest. If anybody does a food forest permaculture, they definitely have perennials in their garden. Vegetable perennials, fruit perennials, berry perennials, and even flower perennials that comes back every year. So we're going to touch a little bit on a few of those perennials that we can incorporate in our garden, where we can plant it one time and not have to worry about it planting it again. Now, and that's what a perennial is. It's a plant that you plant once and it'll come back every year for you. An annual is a plant that you will have to plant every year. It dies out and you have to plant a new plant or drop a seed every year. So let's get right into it. Connie Homestead, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Melanie, the moderator, good morning. Stephanie, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. Susan Harris, hello, how are you? I feel like we just got off the phone when we just was messaging. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. This is a very good topic this week. We have a lot of people who took an interest into gardening this year, and next year we're going to try to make it even more interesting. This year we might have had a few struggles, which is okay. When you do your first garden, you're going to have some struggles and you're going to have some questions. But the next year should get a little bit more easier for you. So some of you all are just getting your feet wet into gardening. Some of you all didn't walk through the garden and you know it like the back of your hand. But even those that know it like the back of your hand sometimes have challenges. Myself, I've had challenges in my garden this year. My cucumbers just would not do right for me. And for one, because I'm growing another variety that I'm not used to growing. I typically grow straight eights. This year I did one straight eight and a couple of Marky Moors. I was trying some things different tomatoes, different varieties. But that's not why it failed. It failed because I've gotten some type of disease on my vine. And next year, I think when I do my cucumber bed, I'm going to mulch it. Because when you water it, it does cause different diseases to splash up. Water and the soil to splash up on your vines, and that will cause you to have diseases. So let's get into these perennials though, because that is the topic for the day. If you have not smashed the thumbs up button, please smash it for the host. That helps me out a lot. I do appreciate you guys coming in and being here. The number one perennial, again, if you are growing a garden, a food forest, whatever you want to call it. Perennials are very important because perennials take some of the work out of your year-to-year gardening because it's already there. It gives you that sense of, okay, I gardened this year, but I still have a garden out there because I have my perennials. So these are some things that we're going to talk about that you can incorporate in your garden, that you can eat for the rest of your life off of, or as long as that plant lasts and you take care of that plant. So one of them is asparagus. I grow, I think it's called purple Jersey asparagus, and I planted it from crowns. I didn't plant it from seeds. If you plant asparagus from seeds, it's going to take you about 2 to 3 years before it starts to produce. You can purchase crowns from different nurseries. Even I've seen them even in some of the big box stores that sells have a garden center. So asparagus is a really, really good plant to plant. That's something that's going to come back every year, but they like to come, they thrive in the spring. In the midsummer, they start to grow up and they look like little ferns. But the best time to pick them is in the springtime. So that's one of the things that I have in my garden that I don't have to worry about every year. And the purple Jersey asparagus, I think it's called purple passion. I might be getting it wrong, but I know it's Jersey in there. They tend to taste really sweet. And they're pretty good fresh eating that I just eat them right out of the garden. So asparagus is something really good and nutritious for you that you can set out in your garden, and it'll come back for you every single year. So you can dedicate a bed to it over in a sunny area, or not too direct sun, but dedicate your bed to it. Plant your asparagus, and every year it'll come right back for you like clockwork. And actually, each year gets a little bit better and better. So that is one of the things that you can grow. But asparagus is hardy in zone 4, down to zone 4. So it likes those cooler climates also. So keep in mind asparagus. How many asparagus crowns for a family of 4? I couldn't tell you. The pack that I bought, and I think I got it from Stark Brothers, I think it had like 12 crowns on it. I'm a family of 2. They grow tall. You cut them. So I don't know exactly how many that you would need for a family of 4. You would probably have to kind of guess that out or try to figure that one out yourself. But it's a great plant to have. And I'm trying to read, can asparagus stand down to 0 degrees temperature? Yes, it can. I'm in Michigan, zone 6B. So with my asparagus, I've never had a problem with it dying out or any of that. Mr. Terrell, what up, though? How you doing? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. When you said it, I didn't read your name. I was like, wait a minute, who is this? One of my friends? Thank you for being here, Mr. Terrell. I appreciate you. So Yes, it will withstand. I think we went through the polar vortex here 2 winters ago. It did not affect my asparagus at all. It came right back up. And if you feel like, I make a practice of covering my beds in the winter though. I'll cover it with comfrey droppings or the cuttings. I'll put it over my bed and try to insulate my bed with that, or you can use mulch because it's going to come right up through it. So asparagus is really good. Let me see what else we have. Any more questions about asparagus? Now, tree onions, aka walking onions, they call it. That's a plant that comes back every year. Now, I've never grown these, but I have a strong interest in them. And I think I'm going to try to incorporate this in my garden. Again, I'm going to dedicate a bed for these particular perennials that will come back every year, and I don't have to worry about them. With the tree onions, what they do is they develop in like a bunch. And after they grow and they start to get a little bit heavy, the onions, what it does is it makes the plant fall over into the soil. And guess what? It's producing more. It's producing more. You can harvest them, of course, but those that you miss, that plant stem will start to get heavy and it will start to produce more shoots to grow even more onions. And that's how that becomes a perennial, because the consistent every year coming back. Let's see. I'm trying to look and see if anyone. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody question on each one of these that I go through, so we have an understanding. Rhubarb. Rhubarb is another plant. Never tasted rhubarb before. I've seen it in the grocery store. A lot of times rhubarb pie, but I've never actually tasted before. I am going to try to, because every year I try to taste different things that fruit or vegetable that I've never tasted before. You say you've been looking for walking onions. I think I just read that. I've been looking for walking onions. Do you know who have them for sale? Well, try Stock Brothers or any of these online nurseries. I don't recommend one of them though, because they just can't seem to get my water right for the past couple of years. So I just stopped bothering with them, which is Gertie's. I don't even bother with them no more. But try Stock Brothers. Try Grow Organics. And even try some of your local nurseries. They might have them. They're called walking onions, or another word is tree onions. And that is a perennial that will come back every year. So you can kind of give them a try. The rhubarb, rhubarb is one of the first perennial that will come up in the spring. Again, I've never grown it. I've never tasted it. It's not something that's in my garden, but I do have a really deep interest in it, and therefore I've been researching a lot on this particular plant. I hear that it's great in cooler zones, which is a plus for me by me being in Michigan Zone 6B. It cannot stand heat over 90 Fahrenheit. So obviously this must be a spring cool weather type crop. So just like the asparagus, it'll probably thrive in the springtime and then, do what it do when the temperatures gets real hot. Which with the asparagus, it'll start looking like a fern. Give off little plants and seeds. So let's try rhubarb if you can. That seems like a really good perennial plant to have in your garden. the key to all of it is to basically try to have a perennial garden, perennials incorporated into your garden to give you that feel of, you know what, I might not have planted my annuals this year as many as I had, but this year I can still eat and I can still harvest out of my gardens because I have my perennials already set into place, and I don't have to worry about doing too much. Whether you don't feel like gardening or you don't have the time to garden like you did the year before, you still have a garden out there that you can go out there and tend to. This one surprised me. I did not know this particular perennial myself. Scarlet runner beans. I did not know the scarlet runner beans was a perennial until I started researching it and found out that yes, it is a perennial, and once you start to plant for seed, it'll grow as a perennial in warmer areas, but you could overwinter them in colder areas by taking the cutting off the top and covering it with a mulch, basically. And then when the spring comes, that bean plant will grow up again and start producing plants. I didn't know that scarlet runner beans was a perennial. It probably wouldn't be a perennial in my state because it's probably too cold, even if I covered it with mulch. But in a lot of states, I will say 8, maybe a couple of 7s, it will probably be a perennial there. And that plant will come back. Those bean plants will come back every year for you. So scarlet runner beans is actually a perennial as well that you can kind of look into if you want your bean plants. And then once those pods come out, of course, if you are in a cold climate like myself, save your seeds and plant them again next year. But if you're in a warmer climate, you don't have to worry about that. In the spring, the plant will emerge. Okay? Fennel. The fennel plant, I've never tasted before, but I want to incorporate this in my garden as well. It's a spice and a herb, and actually a vegetable combined. If you look at the fennel plant, I wish I had the setup that Miss Farola has in her live stream. I'm sorry for moving you guys around so much, where I can actually show you pictures of these plants. I'm gonna try to work on that for over the winter, where I can actually show you pictures of these plants so that you'll see what I'm talking about. But this it's like it's a spice, a herb, and a vegetable all combined. The fennel seeds are sweet and spicy. The leaf stalks can be cut off and used like celery. So that's very interesting to me. So it's almost like a dual plant. And I'm very interested in growing these. I don't know if anybody in the chat has grown fennel. If so, and you want to elaborate a little bit more about it, please do. Okay. So that's another perennial that'll come back every year for you. The next one would be sweet potatoes. Now, sweet potatoes I grow every single year as an annual here in Michigan Zone 6B. But if you are in a warmer climate, Florida 9, maybe, I don't know about 8, but 9 and above, I think that you guys can grow those sweet potatoes all year round, year after year after year. You can harvest them, and those vines and tubers will keep producing for you if you harvest them the right way. So yeah, sweet potatoes is a perennial, but for cooler climates it is an annual. For warmer climates it is a perennial. So they'll spread from the nodes, and it can spread fast and full, so it'll somewhat be an invasive plant if you don't contain it and if you don't watch it. Because you have sweet potato everywhere. I mean, we all know the sweet potato can grow in any type of soil, but it's best in a loose soil. A lot of times when we see our sweet potatoes, they all twisted and knotted and turned up, and it's because the soil is so compact, it didn't grow naturally like it does. With a looser soil, you get a very nice looking sweet potato. With my sweet potatoes this year, and I grow them every year, and for the past 3 years I've been growing them differently. I tried the grow bags one year. I got some success. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I wanted. The next year I tried the black containers. That to me was a fail. A lot of people say something is better than nothing, which is true. T-Town, hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I haven't seen you in a while in here, but thank you so much for being here and coming in. I will never grow them in containers again. I don't care what type of container it is. Now, I think one of my problems is because I grew them in black containers. And those black containers hold a lot of heat and draw a lot of heat. So, therefore, it will cause you to have to constantly be out there and watering. And if you're not out there watering, your plant is not going to do well. And that might have been one of my mistakes. Stephanie Garden, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. I'm in zone 8B. We just saved the fruit and grew slips year to year, so we don't have to purchase anything like having perennials. Yes, save some of those slips because purchasing them is a mess. Or you can start them from another sweet potato plant. You know, the old toothpick in them, stick them in water, let them start rooting out, then start growing out. I'm getting a little tired of that myself, so always got to try to find an easier, better way to do things. But definitely, if you could save some of those slips. And then they make pretty good house plants. They're not bad. The little vines, they're not bad looking plants. So I think that's a really good way to do it too. Blended Dreams, hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Welcome. So those sweet potatoes, keep in mind, in certain areas, they can be perennials. And in colder climates or cooler climates, they are annual. So I wish they were perennials here because I love growing sweet potatoes. I'll grow sweet potatoes before I grow a white potato. And I've never grown white potato. I have no interest. And it's two totally different types of potatoes. It's two totally different growth habits. Everything about it is different. The only thing is the same as the name potato on the end. But definitely love sweet potato. And there's a lot of good benefits from you eating sweet potatoes too. Use the little tubers in 9A. Okay, that's pretty cool. Only 2 emojis. All right, so let's see what else we got. I'm trying to watch the chat and read here. Now, this is another one. I'm going to tell you another plant. And a lot of you all, we don't think about it as a plant. We think about it as a weed, which is the dandelion. Every year we get out there and we spray that little weed killer, or we'll take that weed popper and pop the dandelions up to get rid of them because there's an eyesore in our lawns. But actually, the dandelion is an edible plant. And a lot of people use it for teas. And there is a ton of health benefits that come along with the dandelion plant. So dandelions are actually a good thing in your garden, in your lawn. They might not look good in your lawn, but let them grow, especially out there in your garden area. You know, they're pretty good. You might not want them in your front lawn for aesthetic purposes, but in the backyard where you have your garden, let those grow. And the tender leaves, the young leaves are very good in salads. And the roots as well as, and the flowers can be used for making teas. Look up the health benefits of dandelion teas. You will be amazed some of the benefits. I don't tell people the benefits on my channel. I tell you to research them. That's my disclaimer. Because I don't want to give any information that might cause a reaction to someone who might not be able to handle that type of situation. So do your research for sure. I just seen someone come in and I wanted to greet them. I think it was Proverbs woman. Let's see. I don't want to miss. Yes, Proverbs 31 woman. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. So yes, definitely dandelions. Dandelions tea, and it's quite a tasty tea. Now, I've never tried the dandelions tea out of my own personal yard or put it in a salad, but I have purchased at my health food store dried dandelion and dandelion roots and made teas with. So look into it, and then if you got it in your yard and you don't want it in your lawn, dig it up and see if you can put it over in a pot and keep it growing. Again, the tender leaves are good in your salad. And then the flower and the root itself is good for teas. So check out dandelions. What we all have to do is we have to start, well, we don't have to, but what I choose to do is to start to train my palate to accept different things and educate myself on different things to grow. A lot of us will tend to grow the same thing year after year after year. And then, like, I'm going to give you an example. A person that grows very different plants that I've never heard of, grow different perennials that I've never heard of. It's Dan Food Forest Permaculture. He's very known for growing different types of fruits and vegetables. So if we just broaden our horizons and we try, unfortunately, here in Michigan, we have a fruit and vegetable market called Randazzo. Because our state is such a multicultural state, they tend to try to cater to every ethnicity. Blah. You know what I'm trying to say. So we get a lot of fruits that come from different places, and I didn't, I've never tried it before, but I've started to try different types of fruit and different types of plants and vegetables. So if you have one of those markets, you might want to try it because you might like it. And that's something that you can incorporate in your garden. So back with the dandelions, come up every year for sure. It's an eyesore in your lawn, and again, the young leaves can be eaten in a salad, and the flower and roots can be used in a tea. The last one I got, but not least, I got a couple of more because I'm going to ask you all what are some of the perennials in your garden. So the last one that I'm going to talk about, short bus pull up. Hey, thank you for being here. Beep, beep. I appreciate you. Okay, what is that? Tut Bread Production. I think I'm saying it right. If I'm not, I apologize. Thank you for being here. Hello and welcome. Strawberries. Strawberries is another plant. My little tripod want to keep spinning. Strawberries is another plant that will come back every year if you treat that plant correctly. Hello, 50 plus. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. Hope all is well. Strawberries is something that I've been growing in my garden for a while. Last year, if you go back to my strawberry video last year, as well, I got my bumper crop off my 3-year-old plant and those strawberries were huge and juicy and delicious. So strawberries is another thing, but strawberries can be invasive as well. They will spread. If you just plant them in the ground, those runners off of those strawberries will start to touch down in another part of the soil, grow a whole nother plant, and keep going and keep going and keep going. So for me, I contain mine the best I can by putting them in a raised garden bed. And even with the raised garden bed, they still find their way out of the raised garden bed. So strawberries is very good to have. You plant it once, it'll keep coming back. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, not a proven fact, strawberries do have a lifespan. And it's not a come back every 10, 12 year plant. No. To me, it doesn't. I think after a while, that plant will fizz out. But due to the fact that the plant does set roots and create new plants, that's how you get that continuous plant for the rest of your life type of situation, because it's always producing new plants off the runners. So where you have a 1-year-old plant, the next year you have a 2-year-old plant, but another 1-year-old plant. So they keep producing. So make sure and the only way they're going to do that is they have the proper room to do so. And remember, strawberries like slightly acidic soil. That's one of the keys. Slightly acidic soil and lots of sunshine. Let's see what we got here. I hope you would include strawberries. I have strawberries in my garden. This year my plant did not do well because the soil mass was starting to be taken up. So I want to revamp that whole bed and start all over and order the same variety. I think we had spoke about strawberries. Last year I did plant some strawberries over in my asparagus bed, which make very good companion planting, asparagus and strawberries together. But over in the asparagus bed with the strawberries, those were more of an ever-bearing strawberry. The June-bearing strawberries only come in June, and then it'll kind of like fizz out. But the ever-bearing strawberries, you'll get those strawberries throughout the whole season. So if you got a strawberry plant and they're healthy and they're new and you didn't produce any strawberries this year, don't stress out about it. Long as that plant is healthy, just give it time and it will start producing and you'll have a good year next year. Just keep that plant healthy and it'll do so. But they do like slightly acidic soil, and you have to feed them. You have to feed those strawberries. Get you some fish and seaweed fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, and feed your plants. Feed your plants. Everything has to be fed. From Zero to Homestead, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Now, what are some of the perennials that you have in your garden? Perennials are not just limited to a few things. We have a lot of perennials out here. Blackberries, raspberries. Those old primer canes, they will come and grow new shoots. You cut out the old ones, the new ones will produce the next year, and so on and so forth. These are things that will keep you eating in your garden forever without having to worry about getting out there, bending over, planting seeds, starting your cup. This is going to take care of itself to a certain degree. Now, blackberries and raspberries are invasive. I do not grow them in the ground. I grow them in containers. And yes, you can grow them here in Michigan Zone 6B. Lemon balm. Ms. Ferrota says lemon balm. That is another plant that is considered a perennial and a quite delicious plant. Is a good culinary plant, and it's good in teas as well. Sage and chives. Yes, that will come back for you every year. Um, when we think about our perennials, though, keep in mind most of them can be a little bit invasive. Now that lemon balm, it will spread on you, so I like to keep that contained too, as well. All right, Suzette said rosemary and mint. Excellent, excellent, excellent plants to have in your garden. I think that every gardener should have rosemary and mint. Very invasive plants. Don't, not so much the rosemary, but the mint is very invasive, so you might want to contain that in a container unless you don't mind it just growing all over the place. Oregano. Oregano is a very, very good plant with a whole lot of health benefits. And I even have oregano oil. And guys, look up the health benefits of oregano. And that's something, that's a herb that you should have in your garden. A lot of these things, you know, we're coming upon the flu season. We're going through what we're going through right now. A lot of these things that we grow in our garden, these herbs, will help keep us healthy and our immune system up so that our system is not so weak and can be attacked by everything that's going on. How to garden, hello. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. We're talking about these perennials that every gardener should have in their garden. You might not have the room to do it all, but even if you just want to grow a perennial garden, you can. You can. And that's part of the permaculture food forest, is having perennials out there in your garden. And you can't really have a food forest if you don't have perennials. That's kind of hard. Best yet, Journey, hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome. I appreciate you coming in. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button for the host, please do so. I appreciate it. It really helps me out a lot. So guys, perennials, think about it. You don't have to put this work in every year. All you have to do is maintain it. And once you maintain it, you're good. It'll keep growing and growing. Do you have to fertilize it? Absolutely. You still got to treat it. You still have to fertilize it and do all of those things. But it is so much worth it because you're given the ability to have a garden even when the garden season is over. You know that you got that coming back next year. You have things to look for. Same thing with your fruit trees. Next year, you got something to look for. I got 2 peaches this year on my peach tree. They were not edible. They were horrible. They were full of bugs. But I'm so looking forward to next year and treating my trees so that it'll give me a bountiful harvest, because that was the first time that tree produced. So now that I know it's at a bearing age where it's going to produce fruit, I'm pumped about it. I'm excited about it. The same thing with the grapevines. I got 3 grapes last year on my grapevine. This year, I got clusters of grapes. I was actually able to harvest grapes and still eating grapes. And the longer they stay on there, the sweeter they get. The only problem is I don't know what type of grape it is. I can't remember because I took my poles down and had the name on there. Let's see what we have. What size container would you use for a raspberry or a blackberry bush? Actually, if you can get I don't like the wine barrels because they're going to mass out of those wine barrels. So you want to put it in something where you can kind of press those sizes out. And when it's massed out, meaning that it's the roots that took up all the soil and it's time to up pop or time to divide it, you could pull that plant out. So if you can honestly get a hold to a plastic food grade barrel drum and cut that in half, I would put one in there. Because I just put my raspberry plant in a 20, it might be a 10-gallon pot, and already it's masked out. And I just put the plant in there. So I'm going to have to upgrade that to a bigger container. You can get 40-gallon containers online. They're a little pricey with the handles, the black pots, because I grow my dwarf trees in those. But you can get those 40-gallon containers. But I say the bigger the pot, the better it'll be. Let's see what we got here. I think I have a addiction to fruit trees too, because I'm still ordering. I still got 2 trees coming, and they'll probably get here during the winter, knowing this particular company. So I have to overwinter them. But if this project that I'm working on works the way that I want it to work, with one of the programs we have here in Michigan with gardeners and farmers, if I qualify and get this property, this land that I want, my addiction is going to go out the roof, because I do plan on putting an orchard out there and teaching the young people and any adults about gardening in my community. Love the smell of Meyer lemon tree. Yes. I'm going to tell you something else that I love the smell of. I love the smell of walking past the peach tree. And those peaches is ripe, and it smells like peach pie. And I've gotten that experience through going out to the orchards where they grow a bunch of peach trees. And it just smelled like pie out there. So, yeah. And then the lemon trees give you that citrus smell. And actually, it kinds of play with your emotions. Where, because citrus, it brightens you up. It makes you happy, especially in the winter months. I mean, just smell a lemon or orange. It just, I actually burn, not burn, but infuse lemon and orange essential oils, because it changes your mood to such a better, pleasant mood. So I do agree with you with that. I love the smell of the lemon trees also. And I have a Meyer lemon. One of my stores here, nurseries here actually have the Areca lemons in all different sizes. I'm going to purchase one if they still have them left. And those are some things that you can grow inside. Those are perennials as well, the lemon trees and the orange trees, and you can grow them in containers indoors for the colder climate. You have to bring them in. Now, how to garden. One of my addictions is those figs. I got to cut that one out, because I have to, it's so much work. That's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten into, Susan, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. This is one of the reasons why I really haven't gotten into my citrus too deep, because of what's going on with all my figs. That's another tree I will have to bring in the house. Woman and Woman Homestead, hello. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you. That's a whole nother tree that I got to bring in the house, which would be my citrus plus my figs. So I'm at the point now where my figs have been producing. I've been tasting them. I know what I like. I know what I'm like, you know what, that tastes like that. One of them can go. Let me see which one got the best flavor profile, and get rid of the other tree. That's where I'm at right now. It took me a while to get there, but I finally got there. That's why I'm moving over into my citrus, because now I can bring those in as well, and they can continue to grow over the winter. Because, you know, the citrus is like an ever-bearing plant. It stays green. All right, let's see what else we got here. It's good to see you guys. In Michigan, I don't know, like today we're supposed to have a thunderstorm. I got a lot of stuff I got to get out in the garden and take care of. Our nights here has been 57, 60. There's a lot of things that I have to prepare for with my bees. Right now, I got to get them fattening up because I have to overwinter. They got to get through the winter too, so they got to get a little weight on them to be able to withstand the winter. I've been doing my research on that. I got a video coming out about that. Actually, yesterday I went out in Brighton to one of my bee mentors. I have two bee mentors, and they both live in Michigan. One is about 15 minutes away from me. The other one is about 30 minutes away from me. And he's my supplier for my equipment for my bees. So that's another thing that I have to do in my garden as far as preparing for the winter. I am going to have videos on how to shut your garden down for the winter, how to overwinter your garden, where that your soil is, you know, nutrients are still going into your soil, breaking down. We're going to talk about black leaf mulch. We're going to talk about composting. We're going to talk about the comfrey, the benefits of it in your garden, which is great benefits. If you grow fruit trees, you definitely want to grow some comfrey. Comfrey is very good. It's a chop and drop. It's good in the garden, period. But if you grow fruit trees, you definitely need to grow, use some comfrey. And comfrey is a perennial as well that will come back every year. I think I have the Backing number 14, which is grown from the root. It doesn't go to seed and produce more plants. So my plant is just contained in one area. If I dig up a piece, the root, and plant it somewhere else, it will take over and start to grow over there, which is great. It's easy to contain the one that I have. The other one that grows from seeds, meaning when the seeds drop, it's just going to grow more plants. That's a little bit harder to contain. The one that I have is a little bit easier to contain. Thank you so much, Melanie. I appreciate that. It's a little bit easier to contain. I was thinking about putting some over in the orchard, but I changed my mind because this is what happens with my comfrey. It attracts bumblebees. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't want to mix the bumblebees back there with my honeybees. And for some strange reason, this year, we have taken down two hives, two wasp nests, paper wasp nests. One was at my house next door up in the tree, which was way too close. And now we got another one that's about 3 doors down. I ain't worried about that one. I should be, but ain't nothing I can do about that. My house next door has a wasp nest. We just got rid of that one. Took that one down. These wasps will attack my hives, and we will have problems. Hot Sauce Junkie Tim, hello. Thank you for coming in. It's been a while. I appreciate your support and stopping in. Thank you so much. The wasp here is bad this year, real bad, and I don't know why. And they will attack your hive. That's why I had to run out to my supplier to get, and I'm gonna probably say all of this again over in the video, to get my bottom screen board, because that was one of my beginner beekeeping mistakes. I didn't put my bottom screen board in, and I have to check for varroa mites, and that's kind of hard when you don't have your bottom screen board in, and I need to get some of that stuff taken care of. So I got everything I need, even the extra bee soup. I got to get out there and make it happen. Tim, hello. Thank you for being here, Tim Holmes. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. So gardeners, first-time gardeners, definitely get you some perennial set. think about it over the fall, over the winter, what you want to put out in your garden and grow, because this is going to be a consistent thing for you. Why not have perennials? You got your flowers in the front, perennials. I wonder why they hide that. I was short. It wasn't nothing that was bad. I don't know why I hit it. Um, you got your flowers in your front yard. You got some hostas out there, perennials. Do the same thing with your garden in the backyard. Get you some perennials out there to keep you going. Guys, that is my hour. I wasn't supposed to go an hour. I did 50 minutes. I normally like to do 30, but I appreciate you guys coming in and supporting. I am behind on watching other videos. I'm getting through them though. Last couple of weeks I haven't been feeling well. I am feeling very good now. I'm back on my feet. I'm trying to play catch up in my personal life with my business, and I'm trying to play catch up with this garden and my videos and watching your videos. So I will be over and watching videos and stepping into some of you guys live. Guys, how to garden is very informative on gardening, and he does go live. I don't know if he's going live today, but check him out. Very great information I've set into a lot of his lives, and very, very good information. So I appreciate you guys being here. Best yet, thank you for coming in. Melanie, the moderator, thank you for coming in. Miss Farola, thank you for coming in. Suzette Meeks, thank you for coming in. Susan Lee, thank you for coming in. Carolina Gardner, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Gardner Eden, thank you for coming in. I appreciate all of you all. Hot Sauce Junkie Tim, 50 plus. Thank you guys, Woman and Woman Homestead. I appreciate the support that you all have given me. Trust me, I'm trying to come forth and learn from you guys and give you some of my tips and experience that I've had. We're learning from each other. Nobody knows it all. We all make mistakes, and we're all on this journey to try to hopefully grow our own food and be in a better position. Things are changing. Got to take this gardening game serious out there and get out there and grow some stuff. Jay, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, I am on Instagram, _backyard gardener. If you have any questions or if you have some problems with your plants and you want to shoot me a picture, I could tell you better if you shoot me a picture than just trying to guess it over my head. Feel free to do that. Look me up on Instagram. I'm on Facebook too, but I'm more active on my Instagram. So look for the Backyard Gardener if you have any problems, or if you just want to communicate about gardening, period. I could talk about gardening all day long. I'm just a gardening geek. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Have a wonderful week, and please, please stay safe. Thank you, Short Bus. I appreciate you. I need you to call me, too. I'm going to come over to your one of your videos and drop my email in there, Short Bus, because I need to talk to you about some things that will be beneficial for both of us. Happy gardening, everybody. Stay blessed.